We've got a real treat for you on the next Best of Taste. One of Puerto Rico's most successful and talented chefs is going to share some of his favorite recipes, so don't miss it. On today's show, we've got a real treat for you. One of Puerto Rico's most successful and talented chefs is going to share some of his favorite recipes, so stay with us.
Best of Taste. Travels with John Sarich. Delicious recipes, outstanding wines, and unique lifestyles. With your host, Chef John Sarich.
Buenas tardes and welcome to the show and welcome to beautiful Puerto Rico. You know, we're lucky enough to come down here and find out what Puerto Rican cuisine is all about, and it's referred to commonly as Latino fusion, using local ingredients like plantains, for example, and some beautiful seafood. And we're also lucky enough to have probably the best chef in Puerto Rico, Roberto Trevino, who's going to share a couple of his favorite recipes with us. So why don't we get a little taste of Puerto Rico? Dining out on the island of Puerto Rico is truly an experience with international implications. Puerto Rican fusion draws from Spanish, African, Latin, Asian, and many other cuisines, and it builds on the food traditions of the indigenous people which date back thousands of years. To me, this makes a meal in Puerto Rico as unique as any in our travels. There are many options when choosing a restaurant, especially in Old San Juan. We were lucky to have assistance and guidance from Emilio Figueroa, the president of UF Incorporated, a group of highly acclaimed San Juan restaurants that started in 1996 with the Parrot Club.
We came up with the concept of Nuevo Latino because I believe in my grandmother's ingredients. I believe that Roberto, the chef, he used really local products. And we just wanted, we always kept in mind that even though it was 1996, that the 21st century was around the corner. So we wanted to do food that was 21st century kind of food. We're up to the times, we really are. We take dining extremely serious.
Extremely serious indeed. With Parrot Club, Agua Viva, Dragonfly, and now Fogata, the UF restaurant group is serving up a major helping of delicious cuisine in Old San Juan. Part of our visit to Puerto Rico revolved around a very special wine dinner hosted by the Sheraton Old San Juan. The 6-course tasting menu highlighted the culinary talents of executive chef Israel Calderon, as well as executive chef Roberto Trevino and chef Hector Crespo from UF Restaurants. The dinner was a fantastic opportunity to sample the hospitality of the Sheraton Old San Juan and to highlight some great wines from Washington State. We're doing Washington wines, and wherever wines come from in the world, you know, they're going to taste like their terroir. They're going to taste like where the grapes grow. It was a pleasure for me to impart a few tips to our guests and to match the wines with the wonderful dishes from 3 very talented chefs. There's renewed interest in fine wine throughout Puerto Rico, and Karen Lee Espada from Plaza Cellars in San Juan echoes that sentiment.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially the red wines. Unbelievable. Even though you can go to the beach and you can think, beach, white wine, no, red wine or sparkling wine. Yeah, it's going up.
It just so happens that we'll match a red wine and a sparkling wine with 2 of Chef Trevino's dishes, making for a unique seafood experience. So stay with us for more Best of Taste from Agua Viva in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Welcome back to Best of Taste, coming to you from the enchanted island of Puerto Rico. Well, we're in the kitchen with Chef Roberto, and Chef Hector's over here, and he's going to be your new chef de cuisine at the new place, right?
At the new place, right, so, after 2 years here at Agua Viva.
So he's going to take all the style and everything and take it over there, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be great. So Hector's working on the second dish right now, but the first one, why don't you explain a little bit of what we're going to be doing here today?
All right, we're going to have a nice piece of fresh grouper right out of the waters on the East Coast here with a Spanish-style tortilla and a little truffle mojo. Mojo being a classic Latin American way to flavor things. And what we've done in some of the more contemporary Latin kitchens is taken the garlic and oil mixture and added different things. In this case, it's got truffles and cilantro.
Okay, and what's the dark in there?
That's truffle.
That's the truffle. Okay.
Indeed, yeah, it's just
And
chopped
take
up.
a look at that real quick. These are like gold.
Yeah,
that's
gold.
Cool ingredient. And now you were really, you guys were one of the first ones to kind of get popular for this fusion of Puerto Rican cuisine and adding all different kinds of flavors. You've added Asian, you do all this kind of stuff, which is very cool. And this is an example of that.
And this is a good example. Yeah, I think Latin ingredients or things that you find in Latin America, are very nice because they really lend themselves to just all kinds of stuff. For example, taking a thing like a mojo and adding something as culinary gold as truffle, and saying, it works, and we go with it, and that's part of the luxury of a kitchen like this.
It's wonderful. So let's get started. What are we gonna create first?
All right, we should probably start with our Spanish tortilla because that's probably going to take the longest time. So what we want to do is take a couple of nice size Idaho spuds, a couple potatoes, and you want to kind of cross cut them very thin, of course.
We got the potatoes. We're gonna do a little onion too.
Yeah, let's julienne some
Try
onion.
cut one
Absolutely.
in half. and
Please do,
slice
Chef.
it up. Sharpen eyes.
Essential in the kitchen.
Oh, absolutely.
Not necessarily every kitchen. I mean, I've had some chefs tell me, they prefer a dull knife to clean like salmon skin and stuff.
Well, I'll tell you, I actually, once it's first sharpened, I prefer it a few days later because it can be so slick. You got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna add a little onion, potatoes together, sautéed.
Yep, we're gonna go ahead and get this going. I like to use these black skillets, these thin ones. They tend to get a lot of heat real fast. So.
Of course, you got it so well cured after all the years of cooking with that.
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. All the numbers this place does, forget about it.
But how many? What's your average amount of business in a given week, let's say, or even a night? I mean,
Well, here at Agua Viva, it does about 100, 120 covers. Again, that's not so busy, so that it becomes difficult to do really nice higher end food. I'd have to say that Agua Viva tends to concentrate on kind of a higher end style.
Yeah. Well, the first time I was here was last year, and there was like 12 of us sat out here, and literally ate our way through the entire menu. We just had plate after plate coming. It was incredible food.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Plate after plate.
And of course, the wine wasn't bad either that night. We had plenty of that.
A must.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with this last.
Okay.
I want to lower this because I tend to burn onions. I have this thing with burning onions.
It's like making croutons. So
You
just
wanna
saute it up.
You want to lower the heat. Once you get it up to temp, like so, you want to lower the heat and let them sort of just cook.
And you've got a finished one here. Let's
Yeah,
take a
I
look
do.
at that so we
I
can.
want to season this really well because I think salt is going to be an integral part of getting this. So we'll let this cook off to the side here.
Okay.
And
And this is
here's
what you
a
got.
finished version.
So we were talking about too that it's just kind of lightly brown. I mean, it's not burnt, but it has that. It gets kind of a nutty taste, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
the
when onion is
caramelized.
Caramelized, yeah.
Absolutely. I did put a pinch of saffron
Ah,
into the mix prior to cooking it, so you'll have those hints of.
a little bit of that color added to it.
Yeah, no, and
a
the
little?
flavor.
Yeah, great.
All right, so
Okay.
let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and start searing the fish
Okay.
so we can get that out of the way as well. So
Good.
this is a nice piece of grouper.
That is beautiful, nice and pink and white.
Yeah, very fresh.
And you guys got great seafood down here.
No, we do. I mean, really, part of the luxury living again once on the islands. You can get some great fish, and I'm not one to complain about our bounty from
No
the
kidding,
seas
yeah.
here.
That's beautiful.
All right, so we'll let our pan get hot. A little more oil, salt and oil.
And sear that fish off.
Go ahead and let that start
Okay.
cooking there. While that's searing, we'll go ahead and start our truffle mojo.
Yeah, okay, I want to see this.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and start by sort of mincing the garlic. Not sort of, definitely mincing it.
Real fine chop.
So I always do it with the back end of the knife. Careful, you
Well,
know.
now that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, every time we travel, I learn something. I mean, I've never done the back of the knife before.
Yeah, and
I
it
usually
works.
just bash it and, kind of more mash it than that, but that's great. garlic.
So we have garlic. What we want to do is we want to just start to toast it. We're going to add some oil to this. Heat it up. Drop in the garlic, and then start it on medium heat. Very low. The oil should be cold.
Start the oil cold.
Yep,
And then
and
just
add-
bring it up. Yeah.
Go ahead and add the garlic and let it brown slowly.
Okay.
So we'll let that brown, and you can see here the finished garlic. You see that color?
Right. So just make sure you don't go beyond that because
Yeah,
then you
no.
get that bitterness. But that
Yeah, and
is
it's a done
golden.
deal if you go over. And go ahead and
Right.
taste that. The oil's already got a real nice
Oh, yeah,
nutty garlic flavor.
Delicious.
So go ahead and put this fish in the oven.
So seared on one side and then finished in the oven, in the pan. Okay. All right.
We got that
So I got
going.
the fish going, I got the garlic oil going.
Got the garlic out of the
Yeah,
way.
we'll put that over there. Let's take a look at that tortilla, the finished one that you did up here, so you get an idea of what the base of this will look like. So it's the potato, the onion, and then beaten egg mixed into
Right,
it, and then
mixed
just
into it.
baked in the oven.
Baked in the oven.
Cool. All
We'll
right.
get to that.
Okay.
Just do this right here. Okay, so now we have a little bit of chopped cilantro that we chopped already. It's really just a touch, all right? Because we don't need to make a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Truffles are expensive.
Gotta
You
sure are.
can, you can substitute the truffle with just a fine duxelle of mushroom as well. If
But of course,
can.
you don't get that really rich, that earthy. I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah,
It's something so unique to truffle.
Yeah, no, it is very unique. I would have to say though, if that's the case, if you're using the mushroom, the duxelle, and you can't find truffles, then you can probably use the mushroom and a little bit of truffle oil.
Ah, that's a good
And then,
idea.
you can just sort of bring the flavor of the truffle right to the mushroom, and without really breaking the bank.
Right. Yeah, this can get expensive. Even truffle oil can get
No,
expensive. yeah.
absolutely. Opposed to fresh truffles.
Okay, so again, you
So we
fine
want
chop on the truffle.
Super fine chop. So really, it's just almost like a perfume for the plate once it's done. So we'll go ahead and add truffle to the mixture, to the cilantro, and we'll take a little bit of lemon zest.
How do you? We just got a minute left or so, but how do you come up with these things? I mean, does it just? I mean, every chef does it a little different. Sometimes
Yeah.
I wake up in the middle of the night thinking, God, that would go cool. But how do you? Does it? I mean, is it the marketplace, or is it just stuff that pops into your head as you're creating these things?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm like 24/7 trying to really push flavors and really innovation in food. So it really just kind of pops into my head, and of course, the industry has a lot to do with what culinary trends are hot,
right.
But
Well, you've said enough of your own, see,
Wow.
so I mean that's
Should be
something
so
to
lucky.
say. So listen, when we come back, we're going to have the finished dish that Chef Roberto's done, and then we're going to see what Hector's been playing with back here, right behind us. Okay?
Absolutely.
So stay with us. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm John Sarich, and this is Best of Taste. Come join us as we travel near and far to fantastic destinations. Welcome to Japan, San Francisco, Tahiti, Croatia, Venice. We work with some of the best chefs in the world, demonstrating techniques, sharing recipes, and searching out the freshest local ingredients. Incredible cuisine, fantastic wines, and unique lifestyles, all right here on Best of Taste. Welcome back to Best of Taste from Agua Viva in Old San Juan. Okay, we're back with Roberto with our finished dish that we're going to put together for you. And the fish has now come out, so we say you sear it, a little bit of oil and salt and pepper, and then flip it over into the oven. And then our tortilla, which is the onions, the potatoes sauteed together, and then a little egg mixture and baked in the oven again, right?
Yep.
So that goes down first.
All right, we'll have our little
And then now explain this again just real quick, please.
This is the truffle mojo. You see how it falls on the plate just beautifully,
Yeah.
just Sort of gives it that organic look, you know, with the oil and the...
And a little tiny bit of cilantro you said in there
Yeah,
as well.
it's just a touch. So we'll leave that like that.
And the culinary
We'll go ahead and-
gold, as you said.
Put our fish right on top of the tortilla. Now, a lot of people say, fish and egg. But in Spain, often you'll get revoltillos de bacalao and different
Oh, yeah,
things.
right, bacalao, yeah.
So it's very common to
To have egg and fish together.
have egg and fish together, and I
Interesting.
love the combination. So we'll go a little bit of demi. I made a little bit of veal stock.
So veal demi, of course, the viewers, we've done that for them a number of times.
That like so. Once again, we'll go with a little bit more of our culinary gold.
Oh, here it is. Oh, wait a minute, right here. Took it away
A
from me.
little bit of our truffle mojo
Right on top?
on top of the fish.
Oh, man.
A little more of the oil.
You know, you're right. This is a red wine dish.
Absolutely.
It would go beautiful with it.
And we'll just finish with a little bit of asparagus that we've been cooking on the side here. And we'll go ahead and just kind of put them on like so. No
Ugh.
big deal. It's just a little veg to enjoy your meal with. A little bit of cilantro on the side.
Ugh.
I like to always serve fish with a little bit of lemon, even if it has the truffles and the demi.
Just to have it there, right?
I think it needs it.
Ah, beautiful.
E?
Oh, that's a great dish. Oh, man, this is what I'm having. Okay, now the next one. We got to get on to the next dish. I'm just going to set this over here, Chef.
Right.
Now, Hector's been working on the ceviche, and you got some hints that you want to tell us about, too, of putting the ceviche together as well.
Right. Well, ceviche is now making sort of its I don't want to say culinary debut because, I mean, we've seen ceviche for years in some
Right.
parts of the country. They're very common, but it's now becoming sort of a very popular thing.
You see it
to
more and
eat.
more menus, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah, that's true.
restaurants and everybody. But here's a couple of tricks that I find that work for us. What we do is we take our onions that we use for this mixture. In this case, it's going to be onions, red peppers, mango, and mahi
Ah,
with cilantro and limes.
okay.
But we took our onions and we went ahead and marinated them in the lime juice and a touch of salt. So if you taste it, you can already tell that it's not a raw onion. It's almost a sort of
Kind of pickled.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
pickled. So we
Right.
take it to that point without it just being strong raw onion. So we'll go ahead and start adding more.
And this is something, by the way, we're to show the presentation here, but Chef was on Iron Chef, right? Competition. We don't tell you how it turned out, but he definitely was the Iron Man on Iron Chef.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. So anyway, this is a dish that you did there.
Yeah,
and
we actually did some ceviches on the Iron Chef.
Cool.
For us.
got marinated, add a little bit of lime juice to it.
Right.
Hector, you got the glasses there? We're gonna
Go ahead and you want to add your.
set those up.
Wow.
We're all moving around in here. So you add your fish to the onion.
Yeah, let's go ahead
Or-
and add it to the bowl here.
Okay.
We'll put it in the bowl. And we'll go ahead and add our onions to this mixture here. And we'll add more limes to that. Basically, what you want to do is go ahead and add your other ingredients. Some of the red peppers.
Do you let, the thing with ceviche, I mean, obviously, if it sits, it's going to cook.
Right.
And some chefs I know like to marinate it to the point where the fish actually is cooking, or is cooked, I should say. Do you like to do it that way, or do you like to have more of the fresh, I'm going to say sashimi flavor to it?
Well, I think it's a matter of taste. At the Parrot Club, for example, I do a ceviche that's almost like a fish salad where it's cooked and then marinated in the lime, and I think a lot of people almost prefer that. But yeah, I think as we start to really understand raw fish and not fear it and go with freshness and quality, then
Then you can do it this way and do it.
Absolutely.
Just marinate a little
30
bit.
seconds.
Yeah, cool.
like it we're sashimi. So at this point, we want to go ahead and add
your
our cilantro. I think healthy for this particular ceviche because it's a salty lime combo.
Uh-huh. So
Plenty
a fair
salt.
amount of the cilantro will give a nice flavor to it.
And this is basically the mixture, and you can see how simple it is and really kind of
Yeah, it's a great appetizer. You can do this a little bit ahead of time anyway. I mean, even if you're gonna, you can
Oh,
serve
yeah.
it right away, or you can let it sit in the refrigerator for a
you
little
can
bit.
let it
and serve
sit. You can let it sit up to a whole day if you prefer. Quite
Yeah.
frankly, it's a matter of taste.
Right.
And this is just a little idea so you could serve it to some of your friends.
Just the kind of the shot idea.
The shot, yeah. You serve it with some cocktail forks, and here in Puerto Rico, you definitely get them with tostones.
Yeah.
Maybe in California or Washington, you might get them with tortilla chips or something. But
Right.
go ahead and make some of these. These are great. Some tostones. Nothing better for the ceviche, really.
So you really are, I mean, now you're really doing a little bit of fusion stuff here with that. That's just very cool looking.
Yeah.
You know, and I think with this, I think a sparkling wine is what I'd do with that. Nice ice cold sparkling wine.
Yeah, I
Be a
agree.
Perfect match. Roberto, grazie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
wonderful.
chef.
Yeah, and when we come back, we're going to match those wines to these dishes and talk a little bit more with Roberto and Hector. Well, Chef, we've got our finished dishes. Let's go kind of reverse order. Let's start with the first one that you put together, the ceviche.
Okay, here it is.
The
This
Iron
is,
Chef ceviche. That's very cool.
That is the mango mahi. We use a little bit of mahi with the marinated onions and mangoes and red peppers. Putting
Yeah.
salt and
A
lime.
little lime juice, yeah.
Little tostones on the side.
And we talked about a wine with it, sparkling, with the Domaine Saint Michel, of course, we're going to be using that with it. But I think sparkling and the ceviche, oof, it's a great match. Then the other one, everybody's fighting for this dish. This is the entree.
This is the seared grouper with
Look at
Spanish style tortilla and the truffle al ajillo mojo.
It's beautiful. And that little veal demi around there on top of that.
Just a touch.
I'll tell you, and we talked about wine, red wine, Merlot, Chateau Saint Michel, I think would go great with this, but really you can have Pinot Noir, Syrah, anything, but I think we'll do a little Merlot with that too. You guys, Chef Hector, thank you very much. Good luck with the new restaurant. And Roberto, I don't know how you do it. Now you're going to have 4 that you're going to be working on? Yeah, exactly. A lot of juggling, for
Absolutely.
sure. Thanks, you guys, very much. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week on Best of Taste. I'm going to try this. Do you mind if I know Emilio wanted this. Can I try it? We'll let him have it after the bite. Beautiful. Accommodations for the Best of Taste crew were provided by the Sheraton Old San Juan. Travel arrangements for Best of Taste were provided by the Puerto Rico Tourism Company. Special thanks to Tishman Realty for location arrangements and to Plaza Cellars for events coordination. And a very special thanks to Oof Restaurants. Yeah. No, Emilio can't have this. I'm going to eat it. What Latino cuisine is all about, especially Puerto Rican cuisine, I could go on forever, but I must stop now. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks. Thanks. Did I say thanks? You want me to screw up, don't you? I know he did. We've traveled to beautiful Puerto Rico to sample some, I got it. And it's commonly referred to oh, it's a formal show.
Well, you can also.
Yeah. It's that angelic look.